Hey guys, Christine here. I've had a bit of a day today. My kids are going crazy. So we are going to talk about my favorite math curriculum today. We're going to talk about Saxon Math. We had started using Saxon Math a handful of years ago, pretty much the beginning of our homeschool journey. So we started using it in kindergarten. We were in kindergarten and first grade with my oldest. We went through a charter school. We lived in California, and they had the really great homeschool charters to where you could choose to either go part-time there or homeschool full-time and still use all of their curriculum. So we did full-time homeschooling through the charter school, and they handed us a Saxon workbook. So it was a little bit different than what we're doing now because all we had was the workbook. We didn't have the big, fat, awesome teacher guide. Ta-da! Huge. So we didn't have this. We only had the little workbook with the work pages for my son to do, and we didn't have all of this. They would upload just 1 or 2 pages for us. This is so much better. It was like magic happened when we got the full homeschool kit for Saxon. So that's how we started. And I tried a couple of different math curriculums with him. So we started with Saxon. It switched to a different one that was also kind of a hands-on math curriculum, and we didn't use it for too long. I think maybe a month or two, and we switched right back to Saxon. And then when he got a little bit older in 3rd grade, we tried another math curriculum, and we used that for almost half of a school year. It was past our Christmas break, and again, didn't work for us. So we went right back to square one and started with Saxon. It has been the best math curriculum for us. I'm now using it with both of my kids. We're using it for both 1st grade and 5th grade. So something that I love about Saxon is the spiraling approach. So what that means is that you're going to learn a new concept in each lesson, but then you're also going to review all of the concepts that you've already learned. And that was something that some of the other maths we had tried had lacked. They were more on a mastery approach to where you would learn something, do it for a handful of weeks, do the same exact thing, but then it was done and you weren't going back to it. And so after another handful of weeks, he forgot about it. He didn't know what he had learned a handful of weeks before, where with Saxon, he's constantly getting those reminders. And every single lesson, they're going to go back and they're going to give you some repeated concepts to do. So it has been fabulous for both of my kids to actually remember the concepts that they're learning because they're doing that spiraling approach. The other thing that we love about it is the hands-on learning. So they are huge in manipulatives. So I actually have a shop on my website. So I have it linked for you guys at the top. I've got both my full blog post that has a bunch of links in there for you. And then I also have my shop linked for you guys where I have every single Saxon curriculum, and I'm pretty sure it's every single manipulative, at least all the ones we've ever used for kindergarten through 5th grade. So some of our favorite manipulatives that Saxon uses, the first one is linking cubes. So this is mainly, and I believe it's kindergarten through 3rd grade where you're going to see a lot of these manipulatives. Once they hit 4th grade, the curriculum kind of shifts, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. So these are the linking cubes. It actually comes in 100 cubes. It's 10 sets of 10 different colors, and as you can see, ours are not pretty and in a perfect set anymore because my kids play with them like crazy, which is also really great. So a lot of the manipulatives double as toys for us. So they are learning when they're playing, which is also really great. These things have been guns. These things have been, I don't even remember. I think I listed for you guys my blog posts and the things that they've made. They make all kinds of crazy stuff with these. And as you can see, I'm sitting here fiddling with them as well. So these linking cubes are really great. Another big hit in our house are the geo boards. So I have 2 different sizes I can show you guys. So geo boards are just these blue boards here where you use your rubber bands or geo bands as they call them. Nothing fancy, just regular rubber bands. And we also have a small one too. So we've had these for years and years. This one's even cracked. It's been really well loved. These are great. So they've learned different shapes on these. They make all kinds of crazy pictures, all kinds of fun designs. So it's, again, kind of like hours of fun that they play with outside of our school time as well. And then the last thing that I would say they probably use the most of is pattern blocks. So here's our big pattern block set. So this specific one comes with the pattern blocks. And then this one also comes with some different patterns for them to work on, both in color and in black and white. And then of course they can just make their own little patterns up as well. So we use these not only with making this, but it's in Saxon lessons as well, that they have them learn their shapes with these. They have them learn patterns with these. They have them make up crazy stuff with these. So they use these quite a bit in the curriculum. And also, again, usually when we are using these at home, we will have the kids beg to keep playing with them. And also I'll have to say, after our lesson, we'll be able to play with pattern blocks some more. So they absolutely love them. So there's a lot of other manipulatives. Like I said, I have them all listed on my shop for you guys. But those are probably like our top 3 that I'm finding them out when it's not school time. So hi, Rosie. So let's take a look inside of it. So like I had said earlier, that Saxon's kind of split up between older kids and younger kids. So the kindergarten through 3rd grade, you're gonna have your big old teacher book like this. And so a lot of people are like, I can never teach math to my kids. It seriously, it has quotes. You read what it says to do. So it has literal quotes for you and then expectations of what your kids should say back to you. So it's going to say, what is the date? What digits will we use to write the date? And so it's telling you specifically what to say to your kids. So it makes it extremely easy, even when you're getting into long division. It's going to tell you exactly what to say to your kids. With the younger grades too, you also have a meeting book. So it's a really skinny book. So this is where you're going to go over like your calendar and your weather. So we've got our calendar. This is talking about the fall. So I actually split up 1st grade between kindergarten and 1st grade. We did half last year for kindergarten and half this year for 1st grade. There's the weather charts. Because their kindergarten, I feel, and this is going to be different for you based on your just teaching philosophies. I felt that the kindergarten level was more of like a pre-K level. So we split 1st grade between kindergarten and 1st grade. So we're just now getting into the beginning of the 2nd half because it does come with 2 workbooks. So I only have the 2nd one because the 1st one is torn to bits from using it all year last year. So it comes with 2 workbooks, and so the workbooks are going to have, well here, let me show you the meeting book still. So it comes with 2 workbooks. It has the meeting book. The meeting book also has your hundreds number chart to go off of, your left and your right to practice. It has a cool marker to mark how many days you've been doing math. But it's mainly just your calendars in here. So we are using a wall calendar this year since we filled this all in last year. So that way I didn't buy another one. But I do recommend getting this if you aren't using it over 2 years to have this. So then the workbooks are going to have your math fact pages. So when you're first starting 1st grade, you're not going to have this yet. Then as they go on, they start having their math fact pages. And then they also have their worksheets. So their worksheets are 2-sided. So they've got the first side to do together, and then they've got the last side that the child is supposed to do either on their own or for homework. So we choose to not do the back side because we don't do homework because we're homeschooling. And we're doing the work, but it's basically, it's a repeat of what's on the front page for the back page. It's the same concepts that they're going over. So I just don't feel like it's worth doing double the work unless they need help with a concept, in which case we will go on to the back and we will continue doing it, or maybe revisit it later in the day, or maybe even the next day going back over and using the back side. So I do like that for when they're having trouble with the concept. We've used those back pages a lot for that. But as long as they're doing good, I don't make them do the same thing twice in one day. So that is for the younger kiddos. So then once you hit 4th grade, their math kind of shifts a little bit. And I'll show you guys this. This is their 5th grade. And it also kind of changes. So it's Saxon Math K, Saxon Math 1, Saxon Math 2, Saxon Math 3. And then once you get to 4th grade, it would say Saxon Homeschool 5-4 for 4th grade. So this is 5th grade, which is 6-5, because it's supposed to be for 5th graders or struggling 6th graders would be using this. Which I kind of think is neat that they kind of have it on that scale of using both, because it really depends, especially if you're going out of a brick and mortar school and you're going into homeschooling. You may not want to jump right into it because supposedly Saxon Math is a little advanced. I don't know if that's true or not, because we've been using it the whole time, so it's been easy for my son to keep up with all of it. Other people say it's not advanced enough, so I personally feel like it's right in the middle. But anyway, so that's why they have it based that way for the older grades, just so that you can use it for 5th or 6th grade. So Saxon, for the older kids starting in 4th grade, has your main book. So your main book here is going to have your lesson in it. I'll find a lesson for you guys. So it actually has warm-ups first. Warm-ups have fact practice, which is in another book, but it just tells you to do that so you know to do it. It has mental math, so this is stuff that they're expected to just off the top of their head without having to do work. And then it also has some type of word problem solving. So that's the beginning of each lesson. So we no longer have the mating book. This is basically your math meeting before you start the lesson. And then it has the new concept. So you're going to go over your new concept for a page or two. Once you have your new concept, you have your lesson practice, which is a handful of problems. So that one has that and a little bit back here. And then you're going to go into your mixed practice. And the mixed practice is about 30 problems normally. So as long as my son gets the concepts and is doing well with his mixed practice, I only have him either do even or odd numbers. Because I know when I was in school, we weren't expected to do whole 30 problems, especially in 4th or 5th grade. We would either have to do evens or odds, or they would give us just a handful of problems to do. So this is basically his homework, is the mixed practice. We go over the lesson practice together. We go over the lesson together. I know some families that even the kiddos are able to do the lessons completely by themselves. They're able to read it, get the concept on their own, do the lesson practice, and move on to mixed practice all by themselves. My son needs me to sit down with him and go through those new concepts with him. They also have DVDs that you can watch, or I guess they're CD-ROMs, that you guys can watch, and so someone else is explaining it. I've never checked those out. I considered it, but I was being a little bit frugal, and these lessons actually go super, super fast, too. On the little kid lessons, I would say you're looking at about a half hour to sit down with them and do it, especially because you do have to go through all the workbook stuff with them. Where for my 5th grader, I'm only sitting down with him for 5 or 10 minutes tops, unless we need to go over a concept after he does his mixed practice, if he needs help on something. So it's super duper fast to go over with him. So yeah, so that's how every single lesson is. And then here is the worksheet. So it's just going to have, so this one you'll see has a lot more facts in it than the little kids. So it has these to go through for their beginning of the lesson practice. And then your tests are also in here as well. And there's just some extra stuff in the back of the book. So we've got our tests in the back of the book. And then you also just have a few extras, such as a record keeping, some different recording forms and stuff like that. So not too much in the back of it. And it also comes with a solution manual. So again, I have not done anything with him yet. We're in 5th grade now. I've not done anything with him yet that I could not do, especially having all the rules right there for me to remind me how to do it. So I've not had anything yet that has been like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what this is talking about. I'm sure we'll get there because I'm not awesome at math. I'm sure we're going to get there come middle school, high school level, which makes me very thankful for my husband because he's very good at math. But again, it lays it out for you so well that a lot of the stuff I'm relearning with him and remembering how to do it. But there is solution manual. So in these, you can literally go through and it will tell you the answers. It will sometimes walk you through like the different steps and whatnot. So even for the multiplication, for example, it's going to list the entire, what everything should be for using that multiplication. It's not going to just give you the answer. It's going to give you what that should be, what that should be, what that should be, and so on, which I know that's backwards, but hopefully you guys get the gist there. So it goes through all of that for you. So you can easily look at, you know, if they messed up on the answer, where did they go wrong? Where in that problem is the number wrong? And then you can do that simple multiplication to figure that out. So it's really great. I love this math. I recommend it to everybody. I know a few friends that also use it, and so whenever I'm like, oh, what math do you use? Saxon Math, we suddenly are like, oh, you get it. You understand why it's so awesome. So I cannot talk it up enough. So like I said, it is on in my shop. I've got all the levels of Saxon Math in there for you. I've got all of the manipulatives in there for you guys, so you can take a look at all the different manipulatives that they use. It's amazing. We've had really great results. We had to do state testing last year since we're in North Carolina now and they require it. And his math scores were like off the charts. He was testing in middle school level for 4th grade. So I say it works. I say he does really, really great. And math is not his favorite subject. He would say that science and writing are his favorite subjects. Actually, today we did a little beginning of year interview that I'm going to be sending out for you guys next week as well. And he said that math is his least favorite subject, and he's scoring in middle school level, 6th, 7th, 8th grade levels for math and for 4th grade. So if that tells you anything, even with him not loving math, even though it is fun, he's doing great. And like today for my 1st grader, his lesson was shopping, like he was at a grocery store. So we have all of our little toy foods and stuff like that we have from over the years. We put prices on them, and he'd do grocery shopping and count out the change for me, and then put it on. He had to make a paper receipt and put it on his paper receipt. So it was playing for him. He loved it. So that's the great thing about this, is that a lot of the lessons make it feel like they're just playing, especially in those younger years. And then as they get up to 4th, 5th, 6th grade, they're going to start doing a little bit less playing, and they're going to start doing a little bit more work. So it's wonderful. We love it. So I hope that you guys love it too, and I hope that you check it out, and I'll see you guys next time.